Hello my tarot friends, I have a very exciting video for you today. At least it is very exciting for me because this week is my birthday week and this is my first birthday haul ever. So I treated myself to 6 new decks and I am super duper excited to share them with you. And I'm gonna start with this one. I found this deck on Etsy. I actually probably heard about it on YouTube somewhere, but I cannot remember where. It is a very, very interesting deck. It comes in a tuck box like this. And if I read you what it says at the back of the box, it says, "This deck mixes both traditional and modern. Archetypes in the 21st centuries are seen differently in our society that is striving for true equality. I wanted to do away with rather old-fashioned concepts of king, queen, knights, and pages. These have been replaced with neutral visions of the triple goddess sage, crone, architect, mother, and seeker, maiden. The fourth court heart has been replaced with a pagan festival. The aces have been replaced with seasonal equinoxes as I wanted less emphasis on star signs and more on the wheel of the year, and to provide a means that can be helped with determining a timeline. I have been inspired by many people and animals, some famous and some not famous, whom I know and love, some sadly no longer with us." And this is a very interesting deck. I'll show you why. So you can get it in this bag as well. There were only 250 prints of this deck created. I was lucky that you put one aside for me. Did I say you can get it with this bag? So with this bag it costed me £40 and without the bag it would be £30 plus delivery fee. Anyways, this deck is very different. Like she said on the box, it is connected to the pagan festivals, pagan teachings, but it is inspired by the real people in her life and also some famous people. The art is amazing and it is very different. Some cards are very deep and kind of scary looking, like this one, like this High Priestess, and the others are very light and full of energy. You can see that she took a very long time to create this deck and she's been reading tarot for decades. I also love the fact that she replaced knights with the festival, because night is a very moving energy and festival have that energy about them anyway. So I love that about it. It also has some diversity in it. It is not people heavy deck, I would say, but I wish there was even more diversity, to be honest. Some of the cards are very dark, like this one for example. I feel that printing, perhaps there was some error in the printing process, because it feels that this card of course should be dark, but there should be more color to it. I have a feeling. I will email her because she's very responsive. This guy definitely reminds me of Daryl from The Walking Dead. But yeah, do you see some cards are kind of disturbing, but it's so amazing. They speak volumes. She was talking in her video that this was her friend who unfortunately passed away. She was talking about her struggle with alcohol, and obviously temperance is about that balance in life, right? So very interesting. This is my favorite card in the deck, I would say, because it speaks about that gentle power, that compassion. It's basically promotes veganism, you know, having compassion for animals, no matter which animal it is, because humans often separate, you know, pets from animals that humans eat, like pork. Pork is actually a pig, and a pig is as smart as a dog. And I'm sorry, I know some of you are gonna be annoyed with me being like all animal rights movement or whatever, but I love that she put a depiction of strength like this here. But do you see what I mean about being kind of disturbing sometimes? It's really intriguing, this deck. It's absolutely intriguing. And you know, famous people, we all recognize this man, don't we? And I love that she changed the emperor into the hierarchy. Obviously creators of the decks decide how they're going to portray certain cards. You know, some cards can be seen as positive or negative. Well, all the cards really could be portrayed in negative and or positive way, but I feel generally certain cards are portrayed positively and certain cards are portrayed negatively in the tarot deck. I kind of like that she chose to portray this card this way. She said on her, I think on her website, that she uses different media to create her art. I feel this is coloring pencils, but also some art looks like this, for example, this one looks like oil painting, whereas this one looks like coloring pencil art. I love this Eight of Earth. And see, the bumblebee on the bag is from this one. It is just so cool. And I love the fact, I will say I love in this video a lot, so please get over it now, because obviously I love these decks, otherwise I wouldn't get them. I love that she renamed the Devil card into Shadow Self. So she decided to choose more negative depiction of the devil here. But I kind of like it. I love this Nine of Spirit. This is a card I pulled today. It's like the fox has been hunted by the man. And obviously she needs to be perseverant and know where to go, where her allies are, and be strong in order to survive this. This Lovers is very different. And I like it. So yeah, this deck is just so cool. Seven of Hearts, a mermaid. You know, diving deep. Exploring the depths of your ocean, and your ocean holds, you know, the good and positive, but it's things that you need to deal with, and you can easily get distracted by all these beautiful things, right, in the ocean emotions. You know, she changed cups into heart, she kept earth as earth, she changed swords to mind, and she changed wands to spirit, which I also really like. This is her dog as well. So beautiful, so wonderful to portray it. Dogs do have that sun quality to them, don't they? And I'm not the hugest lover of dogs. I prefer cats, but I'm not gonna lie, dogs do have that sun energy, and I feel cats have more of that moon energy to them. For example, this is another card that I feel it's a bit too dark, and I don't think she intended it to be this dark. Or maybe she did. Like I said, I need to ask her. I will email her. I actually asked her to save one deck for me, and she did. And she was so grateful as well that I got her deck. And I'm so glad I got it. Oh, look at this festival inbox. So beautiful. The Fool is changed into the Earth Child. And if you look closely, his head is the Earth. I didn't even notice this before. His head is the Earth. That's why he's called the Earth Child. Oh, look at this Two of Earth. So pretty. Reminds me of Two of Earth in Witch's Wisdom Tarot, where you have a mama bear and baby bear in the cave sleeping. Judgment. Oh my god, this is such a good Judgment card. The Hierophant, quite traditional, but I don't mind that. I love this Four of Mind. Unplug. Unplug your mind. Take a break. Reset. You know? How cool is that? And this Death card is so beautiful. Look at the details. She said that it took her so long to paint this one. So yeah, this deck is very different. Very different. And I actually decided that the decks that I'm gonna get from now on, they will all need to be different. I don't want any more Rider-Waite-Smith clones. I want decks that bring something different to the table. Now, the last thing I want to say about this deck is the cardstock. The cardstock is very interesting. Oh, these are the backs. I didn't show the backs. Kind of creepy, but I like them. The cardstock is very interesting. So it is very plasticky. I'm not sure if it's made of recycled plastic or if it's paper and then just coated in plastic. But in any case, like, it's very flexible. And I'll show you how it shuffles. Like, I enjoy shuffling this deck so much. I've been doing it just to soothe, you know, to stim. Can you hear this swoosh sound? It is so soothing. The only negative I have about this deck, really, is that they smell like burnt plastic when you get them. But I'm not gonna lie, I had them for literally one day and the smell is already going away. So I think that's not gonna be an issue. One more thing about this deck. There is a quite disturbing card for the Hanged One. I didn't show it because it could inflict some PTSD for some people. So basically, I'll describe it. It is a woman that is hung by her neck. And this woman is specifically Kurt Cobain's wife. Angela decided to portray her this way because she felt when Kurt died that the whole world turned against her. And the feel that she got, like the feeling that the woman, I forgot her name, was feeling, was like she was being hanged by the world. A rope around her neck and she's not in control of anything. And that is how she described it. But I didn't show it because I don't want anyone to get triggered. So this was the first deck. Earth Whisperers Tarot. This is the artist, if anyone is interested. Now the next deck I'm going to share with you, I'm super excited for. So it is the Ancestral Path Tarot. And this is the first edition from 1995. And I was so happy because I got it on eBay for £25, which is incredible. I saw this deck go for hundreds of pounds. And not only that, a day later, someone was selling this deck on eBay for £9. 9. So I bid on it. I literally said, okay, I already have one. I'm just going to bid £9. That was the lowest bid and I won. So I'm getting another copy of this deck. A backup copy. Now, I prefer this version to the newest version, not only because it's smaller, the newest version is like huge, like the double of, it's like this big. It's huge, like you can't handle it properly. The art you can see much better, of course, but to me, what is more important is that I can actually use the cards in the spreads. This deck is on another level. It's really hard to describe. Like, I connected with it the second I took it out of the box. It was incredible. The book that could be sold separately in the 90s is now sold out and it goes for like £90, so I'm not getting it. But I will post a link in the description box below of the interview with Julie Kusha-Watts that she did with Amber from, I forgot the name of the channel, Write It, where she literally went through every single card and described what it's about. And she also read from that book. So you basically get the gist of what is written in the book anyway. So yeah, this deck is so amazing. The author decided to put stories from different cultures in different suits. So we have Egyptian, specific dynasty, I forgot which dynasty, ancient Egyptian stories from specific time in the suit of fire. In the suit of earth, which is called Sacred Circles here, we have one of the Native American tribes from a specific area in America, which again I forgot, but it is an area where Julie comes from, a state where she's from, which I forgot. I'm gonna write it on the screen so you can see. And it's a story of Vision Quest. And then in the suit of swords, we have stories from Japan, and the stories are all connected to the training and becoming of samurai and people in the life of that samurai. And then in the suit of water or cups, we have stories of King Arthur and obviously people, connected to those stories. No, and then Major Arcana is just a mix of everything. This is one of my favorite cards in this deck, the Hanged One. It is so amazing because gestation period represents the hangman perfectly. You are in the dark, you can't see anything. You are put there, but you need to stay still in order to grow and then enter into the new stage of your life. Incredible. I love this Wheel of Fortune as well, so amazing. So yeah, also this version, the colors are brighter than in the newest version where the cards are huge. You can see the colors there are very dark, so I didn't like that. And I thought that the borders are gonna bother me, but they actually don't bother me. This one really reminds me of Seven of Earth in the Wheel of Change Tarot. It's very similar looking. And another thing I love in this deck that is the staves in the ancient Egyptian stories. Julia portrayed ancient Egyptians as they were. So yeah, it is so beautifully done. It is just gorgeous. I will say though that the suit of cups is a little bit cheesy, but it kind of suits it for that Arthur story, because Arthur's story, no one knows if it's truly real, so being cheesy kind of makes sense. And another thing that I noticed that she did here is she doesn't go from ace to number 10. She starts with number 10 and moves towards ace, which I find very interesting. Very interesting indeed. I love this Eight of Cups, because he's moving towards a new spiritual journey. He's moving towards Stonehenge. So yeah, absolutely incredible. I got into this Julie Kusha-Watts rabbit hole, I'm gonna say. I started exploring all her decks, and basically the next two decks that I'm gonna share with you are also by her. This is the Fool card that everyone is complaining about, but to be honest, like I did the interview spread, and guess what? It fell out for Who Am I? This one. Tarot reader. You know, you can always look into what images actually are showing you, not just the traditional meanings. So yeah, I love these cards. They are gorgeous. I feel very connected to this. Let me show you the cardstock. It is old US Games cardstock. It is incredible. Let me show you how it shuffles. It's, if you have Vision Quest Tarot, it's very similar cardstock to that. Shuffled like a dream. These are the backs. I also prefer these backs to the new backs. Although I know where they got the new backs from. It's from the full card. If you look into the backs of the cards on the full card, this is how the new backs on the newest version look like, which is really cool actually. But I still prefer the old ones. Aren't they pretty? It's like people standing here. It's like in the sun time, so in the daytime, and the same people standing here in the night time. You know? I love this with the moon. So I'm gonna leave one card here for just to compare something. So if we look into the next deck, which is Ma'at Tarot, which I got on Printer Studio. It comes with these cards that explain things. They explain the deck. It doesn't come with the booklet. The cardstock is lovely, but the cards are tiny. Yet, if you compare them with the old version, it is literally the same size. Like the paintings are basically the same size in the old version of the Ancestral Path Tarot, just borderless. You can also get a big version, which is huge, but like I said, I don't like huge decks like that. I think they're very unpractical. And this one is amazing for huge spreads, and I love huge spreads. Now, in the Ma'at Tarot, Julie used the Western astrology system, and she used cycles of the moon and different pagan Sabbaths for the cards as well. And I think this deck is just so fucking beautiful. It's incredible. Again, it's multicultural. It is deep. The cards speak to you on a different level. And the amazing thing about this is, right, so even though you just get the cards with no box or anything, you can get this deck in an app. And with that app, for £4 or less, comes the whole book that was written with this deck. So that's what I do. I literally use the app for explanations of the cards. And for every card, you will get a really long explanation. But not only that, so if you pull a card, let's say cards, let's go for the Emperor, you would get, you click on the information, you get a short version, and then you can get full text from the book. And you get the full text of the Emperor. And like you see, there is a lot. There is a lot. I really suggest you doing that. I would not get the big version even though the pictures are bigger, because I can't deal with cards that are the size of a flipping, I don't know, plate. So yeah, this is absolutely amazing. Let me show you a few more cards before I go to the next deck, which is Journey into Egypt. I love this sun. Amazing. Summer solstice. And you have the egg as the sun, and then the fertilization of the egg. Oh, so cool. So yes, this was the Ma'at Tarot. So both deck, I ordered Ma'at and Journey into Egypt on that website to the UK, and it costed me £90 for both of them, together with shipping. So not too bad. I mean, it is very expensive still for a tiny deck like this with no book, but like I said, the alternative to use the app with it is really good. So, and this is the Journey into Egypt. These are the backs. Did I show you the backs from the previous one? I don't think I did. The backs look like this in the Ma'at Tarot. So this is Journey into Egypt, which also comes with a set of cards that explain the deck. Let's just go into this one. Now, for this deck, Julie used a different system. So she used the Real Sky Astrology. Now, as she explained it, the Real Sky Astrology is astrology that we see with our eyes right now, or with the telescopes, like the sky that is above us right now in this moment in time. And obviously it changes with time, right? So the things progress as the sky changes, whilst the Western astrology system looks at the sky as it was when the Western astrology was created. And that, I believe, was around Roman times, if I'm not wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And to be honest, I am super confused because I always worked with Western astrology. I always found it accurate. So in my Western astrology, I am a Sun Taurus. And in real sky astrology, the dates completely change. And it's not like you move back or forth for a few days. No, every single sign has a different number of days that are assigned to it, because this is the time, this is how many days we see that sign in the sky, basically. I am then, in real sky astrology, my sun is Aries, and my rising and my moon sign are both Virgo, which is very different to my Western astrology, which my moon sign is Libra and my rising sign is Scorpio, and I really resonate with those two, like a hell a lot. I do resonate, though, it's funny, I do resonate with Aries as well, because I love starting new things, and my partner always says that I never finish it off, so that's a very Aries thing. Although I am finishing off my series on the Herbcrafters Tarot, even though it's been very long and sometimes not easy to do, but I'm finishing it off because I believe I'm a Taurus and we are persistent. So yeah, it is a bit confusing, but anyway, she based this whole deck on real sky astrology. So for example, 7 of Coins is first 10 days of the full moon cycle Cancer. So she goes into the full moon as well. And equinoxes still. Okay, it is moon related, but it is related to the moon in a sign. So for example, 6 of Cups is second 10 days of the full moon cycle Capricorn. Or this one is first 10 days of the full moon cycle Pisces. But yeah, I find this deck so intriguing, and nevertheless, of course, I need to work with it. I got it a few days ago, but it's just so beautiful. And I read with it because I had an app before I got the real deck, so I was pulling the cards, and man, the accuracy. This deck even predicted the future for me, which came true, which is crazy. I never tried doing this before, and I don't think it was coincidence either, because it predicted very specific things. I think it's a very powerful deck, and also gorgeous deck. I mean, look at the art. So yeah, this is Journey into Egypt Tarot. The next deck that I would like to share with you is Thoth Journey Tarot. Now, this is the deck that was actually a gift from my partner. At the beginning, I said I bought all the decks. No, this was actually a gift. This deck is incredible. Incredible. He got it for me with the big book as well, because the deck itself is sold out. And I emailed the creators of this deck, and they said that they are probably never going to reprint it because they're working on a new tarot deck about dealing with loss, I believe, or grief. So yeah, this deck is loosely based on Thoth system, but I noticed that zodiac correspondences on the cards are different than in the Thoth tarot, which I found very interesting. So I need to still explore that. But all in all, this deck is absolutely incredible for intuitive readings, at least for me. I mean, each card holds so much power. Like when I used it for the first time, it made me cry. And I just used it intuitively. I didn't even read a book at that point. And it's just so deep and beautiful. Extraordinary. The art is just so vibrant and different. It is so different. And I feel that it's called an oracle for change because you can use it as oracle as well. But I will definitely use it as tarot because it works as tarot. And it makes so much sense. And then when I read the explanation of certain cards, for example, Earth 9, right? 9 of Pentacles is usually read as, oh, you worked so hard, you achieved everything, you are in a really good spot in life where you have physically everything that you need, and you need to make sure that you share it with others, right? But in this deck, what she describes it, so basically she takes you into each card, you step into it, and then you step out of it, which is very different. And she was talking about how the woman steps into this garden and labyrinth is in front of her, so then she has to go deep into the roots and she has to unravel and reorganize all these pockets of life that feed the garden. And then she does that, and then when she steps out, then it's abundant and clear, and she can then step into the labyrinth of life and comes out in this beautiful palacey looking building here that is gorgeous. But it was so interesting because she was going into the roots, into the depths of her. So different to what Nine of Earth usually represents. So yeah, this deck is gorgeous. I think I will definitely do a review of this deck and have it side by side with Thoth deck, because I compared a few cards and it's so beautiful to see the resemblance that is there color-wise and the energy-wise, but the pictures portray something completely different. It's incredible. So this is the Thoth Journey Tarot. I love this deck so much and it speaks to me. And that's the thing, all these decks that I got for my birthday, they all spoke to me straight away, even though they have different systems, which I find incredible. This Water 5 is so similar to the Water 5 in the Marielle Tarot, where you also have a unicorn standing in front of a water fountain. All these decks shuffle so nicely. I didn't show you shuffling of the small decks. You can shuffle them though. So it shuffles nicely. Maybe the cards are a little bit slippery, but I think when you learn how to do with this deck, you're going to be just fine. There you go. Very nicely. I love the cardstock. It's quite thin, but I prefer thin cardstock to thick cardstock, so that's great. So this was Thoth Journey Tarot. And my last deck that I got to share with you is Pholarcos Tarot. Oh my gosh, this is the deck that I was going back and forth with for a long time because I wasn't sure. I'll show you why. No, this is the backs. This deck is a bit bigger. It is oracle size for sure. And shuffling wise, I'll show you this first before I show you the cards. It's doable, but it's also a little bit slippery. I love the backs. Amazing. She's like a guardian of the dreams. Like I see her as a protector. When you journey into your dream cave, she's there protecting you, you know. This deck is very different. It's so deep. It's a deck that one can use for, I would say, depths of your subconscious mind. It is so beautiful. Oh my god. The reason why I was like on a fence if I should get it or not is the minor arcana, because as you can see, the contrast between minor arcana and aces and major arcana is huge, and the court cards is huge. These are more like sketches, and the other ones, as you can see here, are proper finished paintings. But the thing is, there is a reason to why the minor arcana has less color. The idea is that you start with an ace that is black and white, all the potential for the color, and then from 2 to then 10, you get more and more color in every card. And I think that's absolutely genius, to be honest with you. I mean, look at this 3 of coral. It's so intuitive, like kisses here with lips, and it is just so good. Like, this deck is incredible. It's so much better than I thought. So much better. Oh my gosh, look at this 10 of spirals and 10 of coral. It's like the same face, but in a different setting. Oh my gosh, I wonder if that's the same with the... I need to find out now. Okay, so it's not the same face, but it's so similar though. Do you see it? It is so similar. It's like different aspects of a person perhaps. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet, but whoa, this is powerful. This is so powerful. Wow. So I am so grateful that this deck came into my life. And I have to thank Sadhana again from Integrative Healing with Sadhana, because she did a deep dive into this deck and I watched a few episodes and I was like, yeah, actually, this is the deck that's been calling me for a long time. But my conscious mind was getting in my way and my subconscious mind knew that this is a deck that I need in my life. I mean, look at this trail of coral, so powerful. So what she did is trail, they are the knights, and they're the one that take you onto the journey into each suit. So they're like your guardians for each suit, which I find very interesting. The Tower card is one of the most beloved cards in this deck, and there's a reason why. I mean, look at it. It is so powerful. Wow. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think that I am not going to get any more decks in the future for a very long time, because there is nothing else on the market out there that I need. I feel all these decks that I've shown you today complete my soul, basically. These are all the missing pieces of my soul. Remember when I did the video of pieces of my soul decks? Now these decks today that I've shown are the missing pieces that I didn't have at that point in time. And now I feel I am complete. And I still have like 2 on the list, but I'm like, I don't really need them. The Science Tarot is one of them, and Tarot de Saint Croix. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I don't really need or want any of them too. Do you see her here? In the Hermit card, right? So interesting. And the Hermit appears in her chest area where the heart and rising Kundalini is. Wow. Powerful. That's the word for this deck. It speaks to my subconscious. It's incredible. I can't even put it in words, because I remember when I was just watching the videos, it did something, but then the second I took it out of the box and I looked at the cards, I was like, whoa. Whoa. Thank you, Carmen Sorrenti, for creating this masterpiece. These were all of my birthday decks. I need to do a shout out to another deck that is coming my way. There's another person that ordered me a deck for my birthday, but it's not here yet. And that is the Soul Trees Oracle, which I think is going to be a really complementary Oracle deck to this one, and to Thoth Journey Tarot as well, I feel. I hope you enjoyed looking at these beautiful cards like I did. I hope you have a wonderful time wherever you are on this beautiful planet Earth, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.